Hello everybody, this is Pranali, also known as Lateriser 12, and welcome to the Game Week 5 team selection video. Now the Game Week 5 team selection video, funnily enough, is largely about Game Week 6, because what I'm going to do in the video today is I'm going to talk to you about my path right now. I'm going to show you a Game Week 6 wildcard draft and what behind the Game Week 6 wildcard draft is. And we are going to wonder if the difference between the two is worth it to wildcard or not. That's essentially the thought behind this video. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, please hit like and subscribe. Right, let's get back. Either way, I'm recording this video on the Friday morning before the press conferences, so I don't quite have the updates when it Punya's injury and Murlio's injury, who are problems in my team at the moment. So that would determine the path, and I've obviously spoken about what I might do in case either of them are injured, etc. as well. But what happened in game week 4? I got 63 points. Porter got a 6. Rodon was so close to a 9-pointer, but he got 4 points. It is what it is. Munoz got a 5 points. Dorgo didn't do much except despite having so many chances. Salah, Munoz, like us, captaincy got lucky. A little bit of luck with Semenyo as well. One side pass assist. And we got the pen. This is information we didn't have prior, but he looked really, really good in open play otherwise as well. Grinders had 3 points. He should have had a 10-pointer. So he looks like a pick that should have had a lot of points. He was really good in the Champions League game against Napoli as well. Should have had an assist or a goal maybe. So he looks like a good pick at that price. Wirtz had his best performance in the Champions League. Isak, I've realized, is just much, much better for Wirtz and Salah because he's way more rounded. Uh, Isak tends to drift left. Sorry. Ekidike tends to drift left. Wirtz tends to drift left. So a lot of players left dominant on the Liverpool attack. Isak is a lot more balanced, has better hold-up play, and his interplay with Wirtz was actually really, really interesting. So I think Isak is good for Wirtz and more both because it makes their attack more well-rounded. Pedro doing Pedro things with a 7-pointer with 1 assist. In a 2-2 game, Watkins 2 pointers, unlucky there. Things are not looking good. Cunha didn't show up. Murillo 3-pointer. And Cunha and Murillo are the problems in my team at the moment. And I have one free transfer because so far I've used free transfers. And Cole Palmer injured earlier. Cunha injured. Sar injured. So had a few problems. Thankfully, everybody who I've gotten has done points. I got in Semenyo for Sar, 13 points. I got in Sar for Ruter, done 7 points as well. So we're on a good trajectory when it comes to transfers. Maybe I should wildcard. All right, before we go into the planning part of the video, let's quickly talk about joining our Discord. Was in the RMT section this morning as well. Zoff does some videos. I'll try to do a few more Q&As with the Discorders as well. If you just want to hang with us, scan the QR code and get involved in the conversation with us. Right, now the first part of this video, I'm going to focus on whether I need to wildcard or not. And if I'm not wildcarding, what's my path looking like? Now, Cunha, I reckon, is touch and go for this game. From what I've heard, Jacob Steinberg said yesterday on the United Stand FC, I reckon, that Cunha has been telling everybody that he will play some part in Chelsea's game. I feel like if he's fit, he's going to be involved because it's such an important game for Ruben Amorim as well. So we'll see what happens with that. If he doesn't play, Rodon comes in against Wolves. The thing is, I need at least one of Cunha or Murillo to play. Things look pretty positive on the Murillo front on Ange's presser before the Carabao Cup against Swansea as well. So I'm hoping one of them play. If one of them play, I don't need to play Rodon. If both of them miss out, I might need to go Dorgu deep, or I either sell Cunha to a 7.5 million midfielder or below, or I sell Murillo to a 5 million defender or below, which gives me the flexibility. Next week, do Watkins and Mo to Haaland and Palmer should I choose to do it for a -4. I can also avoid this extra shaving of money, and instead of getting Palmer next week because Palmer plays Liverpool in game week 6, I can get in another midfielder like Xavi Simons, Bruno Bumo, who've got Brentford and Sunderland back to back in 6 and 7, or any of the Everton mids who've got decent fixtures in the short term as well. So this is my current path as things stand. We're looking at like the short term fixtures because I might need to shave off. Currently, I'm 0.1 million off doing the Palmer and Haaland thing for Watkins and Moen. But I think by the time I reach Saturday, I might be 0.3, 0.4 off as well, which is why I'm giving myself a 0.5 buffer. So short-term months, right? Because I ideally maybe want to wildcard by game week 8 as well because I'm eyeing up bench boost game week 9, which I'll talk about shortly. But look at the short-term fixtures. Wolves, Leeds, not interested. Spurs. Actually, Strand Larson could be interesting, but I'm not looking to buy a forward. Apologies, got a little bit of a cold. Spurs, you have Brighton away, Wolves at home, Leeds away. So there's just a good short-term come mid-term investment. Xavi Simons hasn't looked that good, but he just looks like a stable pick on set pieces, playing in the front three at Spurs. Might play left, might play 10, but the minutes might be 75 minutes ish. I really like Romero as a pick. He solves my problems of having a defender playable for the next 4 or 5 weeks. I like him on set pieces because he's a Thomas Frank defender. He's good for bonus. Not quite the DEFCON monster, but because Spurs have had easier fixtures, I don't know if Romero will not be good for DEFCON. Outside of that, maybe I can buy Senesi because he's got Leeds, Fulham. But the problem with Senesi is that next game is Newcastle at home. That's it. He's a DEFCON monster, so you could be fine. And Newcastle had a tough tie against Barcelona yesterday, so maybe that could be somebody I could buy for Murillo. In attack, I already have Semenyo. Uh, Forest have a double defense. I could maybe get Gibbs White. Not sure. Everton midfielder buying this week is not fun because he's got Liverpool away. But after that, West Ham and Crystal Palace at home. So if I want to buy someone like Endai, Dewsbury Hall, Jack Grealish, decent entry point in Game Week 6. But I need one of Cunha or Murillo to be fit for that. Essentially, you understand I'm looking for a short-term punt in defense. Probably be Romero or a short-term punt in attack. Why I'm talking about United is because they've got Chelsea home this week. Then they've got Brentford and Sunderland. Two decent fixtures as well. Uh, we might have struggled defensively, but in attack, we are producing enough chances as well. So Bumo's on my radar. But the thing is, I can't do Cunha to Bumo because I need 7.5 million or below, unfortunately. I could just ignore Palmer because, like you see, Palmer's got United away this week. Then he's got Brighton at home in Game Week 6, which is when I'm looking to make the transfer. That's a good fixture. Remember, I owned him last season when not many people owned him around the Game Week 5-6 mark, and he got me 4 goals. After that, he's got Liverpool at home. And then there's Forest and Sunderland. So I will want Palmer in Game Week 8. So I think if I don't wildcard in Game Week 6, I'll probably wildcard in Game Week 8, change structure, and get on Arsenal. If there's any other punts that I like, see, the thing is, the week is so bad for punts. Like, Xavi Simons, I'm looking at 1.4 against Brighton away, but Brighton have conceded goals, 6 goals so far, kept no clean sheets. Who else? Spurs have decent clean sheet potential, 20% if I'm guying a defender. Murillo's just better. I'm hoping is fit. Murillo has, where is Murillo? Where are you, Murillo? Yeah, 31% clean sheet potential, right? And Rodon is very, very playable too. In fact, he's more playable than Porro. That's a dilemma. There's no standout punt in attack if I want to get this week. There's a punt if I want to go Rogers again and buy a stock while uh, they're low. Because at some point, Aston Villa have to improve, right? Emery is a good manager. At some point, they will improve. That's a Sunderland defense have shown themselves to be decent so far. So we don't know what to do here. But if I wildcard and let's say just presume that either I'll go Murillo down to what's his name, Romero, or Cunha to a Xavi Simons or something of that sort. I'm hoping to keep Cunha because I think he's very playable Game Week 6 and 7. My defense looks fine outside of that. In Game Week 6, I have to play Sales, who's got Sunderland at home, good fixture. Dorgu, who's got Brentford away. Murillo, who's got Sunderland at home. And Porro, who's got Wolves at home. So I don't have an Arsenal defender who will be ideal because they've got West Ham and they're pathetic at set pieces. But I'll have a decent playable defense. I'll have Wirtz, Palmer, Haaland, Pedro, Semenyo. All of them will be featuring on my wildcard anyway. Wirtz won't feature. But Wirtz has shown already in the Champions League game that if Isak is playing, Wirtz is going to be fine. In my opinion, I don't think like, oh, he's an emergency sell. And my backup options in Game Week 6 are Rodon, who plays Bournemouth at home, and Munoz, who plays Liverpool at home. Even Game Week 7 is not too bad. This is presuming I made the Romero in for Murillo transfer. I get Romero against Leeds. I'm benching Porro. I get Munoz against Everton. I get Dorgu against Sunderland at home. And I bench Sels and I play Dubravka against Aston Villa. And now Dubravka, one thing is he's shown himself to be a decent fixture in decent pick in mid-league games because Parker teams are just going to defend deep. So he looks okay. And outside of that, Palmer has Liverpool, which is tough. Which is why if I got in, let's say, Bruno or Mbumo next week instead of Palmer, they will have Sunderland at home in Game Week 7. Then worse Chelsea away, Semenyo, Reinders, Haaland, captain. And then as backup, I've got Pedro Porro against Leeds away as well. So what I'm saying is, these are middling sort of defenses, yeah? They're playable fixtures. I don't have Arsenal, but they're playable defenders. Dubravka against Leeds at home in Game Week 8 because Sels is tough, but Dubravka covers him, man. Munoz Bournemouth at home. Rodon plays Burnley away. Romero plays Aston Villa at home. Then Yeah, United midfielder tough, but Forest, Palmer has Forest, Pedro has Forest, Semenyo, Reinders, Highland. Wirtz has United at home, but it's Wirtz. It's good. So that's the difference. Should I wildcard or not? Because until Game Week 8, I'll probably wildcard in Game Week 8 to get an Arsenal picks. But if I don't wildcard, I've got a decent enough path. The only thing is spending 4 points maybe on an extra transfer if I want Palmer over United mid or Xavi Simons. And I'm going to make this decision likely on Saturday night. I'm going to watch the games on Saturday. This is the activity that I've done. I know what my future teams are looking like. I'm going to show you what my wildcard draft at the moment is looking like. And then we decide whether we want to wildcard or not. Just a quick talk for Fantasy Football Scout. The forward planning situation that you saw here is from Plan FPL. It gives us free access to all this data, expected points, etc. by becoming a member of Fantasy Football Scout, where you can link your Fantasy Football Scout account with Plan FPL. If you want to become a member, scan the QR code. Oh, geez, this cold is killing me. All of a sudden, the cold's coming because I'm talking too much as well. Just become a member by scanning the QR code or clicking the link in the description below. Okay, just have a look at the sticker. I'm just going to clear my nose and come back in 30 seconds because we don't edit our videos. We are raw. But I'll trust you guys to just stare at the fixture ticker and come back in 30 seconds, promise. Here we are. We're back. All right, man. Sorry for that. I just wanted to clear so I can have a nice conversation. Didn't want to compromise on the quality of the video. And I think you guys have patience for 30 seconds. Anyway, if I do wildcard, like what do we need to target? We need to target Arsenal because look at the fixtures Game Week 7 onwards. Insane. West Ham United home, Fulham, Palace home, Burnley, Sunderland away. Just a plethora of clean sheet fixtures. I probably get them in Game Week 8 on a wildcard anyways. Just seeing out the next 2-3 weeks because what does waiting for the next 2-3 weeks give us? It tells us, do we really need to sell Salah on wildcard? Do we need a Haaland plus Salah draft? Probably Game Week 8 I go without Haaland maybe and get Salah back. Do we need Salah? Do we need Isak? How's the goal share looking with Liverpool? We'll have that little bit of extra information, which might be worth waiting for, right? Do I need to sell Joao Pedro? Are there other picks that are emerging? It's still fairly early in the season. Semenyo will be on my wildcard. Senesi will be on my wildcard because Bournemouth have good fixtures in the long term. Brighton are interesting. Minte's on my watch list. An Everton midfielder will definitely be on my wildcard. Maybe two. Look at the fixtures from Game Week 6 onwards. West Ham home, Palace home, City away, Spurs home, Sunderland, Fulham. They offer great value for money and will be good fixture on my Game Week 6 wildcard if I wildcard. Even on a Game Week 8 wildcard, will be fine despite the tough entry point. Strand Larson, if he's fit, could be interesting because Game Week 7 onwards, look at their fixtures. Brighton, Sunderland, Burnley, Fulham. So if I want a cheap striker, he could beat that. Spurs have good fixtures. It gets a little rocky Game Week 10 onwards because they've got Chelsea, United, Arsenal in those 3 weeks. But before that, they've got Wolves, Leeds, Aston Villa, Everton, which is why I'm looking to get in either a Spurs defender or midfielder if I need money to get Palmer. Leeds are good. Liverpool is very interesting, right? That's a team to talk about. Forest, you're going to get rid of on wildcard because they have Sunderland in Game Week 6. After that, stuff. Newcastle, Chelsea, Bournemouth, United, Leeds, Liverpool. Not interested. Maybe interested from an attacking point of view, but we'll talk about that later. Liverpool is interesting because they got Crystal Palace and Chelsea away, Game Week 6 and 7, which are tough fixtures. But after that, it gets good for Liverpool again. United home, Brentford away, Villa home, City, Forest, West Ham. So that's why maybe dealing the wildcard till Game Week 8 gives us time on the Salah decision. So if I sell him in Game Week 6 for the Haaland thing, I can get him back on a Game Week 8 wildcard. That's an advantage. Getting the Liverpool players is big. But the compromises, I will have 0 Arsenal defenders or Gyökeres for Game Week 7. Right. So, and this is going to be a tough decision. United, decent picks on Game Week 6 wildcard, Brentford and Sunderland. Even after Game Week 9, the midfielder is fine. Brighton, Forest, Spurs, Everton, Palace, West Ham, provided we improve. Haaland is very, very vital if I go for a Game Week 6 wildcard. Even if I don't go for a Game Week 6 wildcard, I'll get him because Burnley, Brentford, Everton, I want him for that. After that, it's 3 tough fixtures, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Liverpool. Then Game Week 13 onwards, it gets good for Haaland again. So you can probably sell Haaland in Game Week 9, 10. The thing is, he's funneling the XG for the entire City attack, who seem to be in a good place, and so does Phil Foden. Newcastle are going to be interesting. Maybe throw in a punt like Walter or Gordon on a Game Week 6 wildcard, even a Game Week 8 wildcard because the fixtures are decent. Forest home, Game Week 7, Brighton, Fulham, West Ham, Brentford. And if I wildcard in Game Week 6 or Game Week 8, I'm looking at a Game Week 9 bench boost. Why? Because who are your bottom price assets? Leeds defenders. They've got West Ham at home in Game Week 9. And Burnley keeper, Dubravka, Burnley defenders, who got Wolves away in Game Week 9 as well. So you piggyback on that. And then all the teams that will be popular either on wildcard or transfers in, Arsenal have Palace at home. Semenyo has Forest at home. Everton midfielders will have Spurs at home. Then who else? Liverpool attackers will have Brentford away. Chelsea, so Palmer and Pedro will have Sunderland at home. City will have Aston Villa away. Decent. United attackers, if you're going for one, will have Brighton at home. So it's looking like a good bench boost sort of window, man. So that's what I'm eyeing up. Whether I wildcard in Game Week 6 or Game Week 8, I'm eyeing up a bench boost Game Week 9. That's where, yeah, just looking at the fixtures from a solio perspective as well, right? What am I missing out if I don't wildcard? Arsenal, man. Look at the game, 40% plus fixture. I need to figure out how to get an Arsenal defender. Probably might mean selling words, but I need to figure out, even if I don't wildcard, how to get an Arsenal defender. These clean sheet odds are incredible. You need an Arsenal defender, maybe two, Game Week 6 onwards. That's the advantage. I'm getting a short Arsenal defenders Game Week 6 onwards. Ah, man. Outside of that, it's City is good, Liverpool's good, Chelsea is decent. Chelsea, the thing is, I was earlier having Sanchez as my wildcard. I'm showing you my wildcard draft, a wildcard option. But now, because of the comment that Maresca made midweek that Jorgensen might play some Premier League games as well, just spooked me off. Newcastle are interesting as well. Villa, Spurs, Everton, Leeds. These are the defenders we're going to be looking at. Even if you're not, we're just going to get DEFCON, guys. Attack also, City attack is what you jump on Game Week 6 onwards because it looks good. Liverpool attack. So this is where I'm taking on Salah if I sell Salah next week. Game Week 6, 7. But Game Week 8 onwards, it looks good for Salah. Arsenal just looks good, but more than Gyökeres also, it's the defenders you want. Maybe double up. Even somebody like a Timber or Calafiori might be worth a short-term punt. You can sell later. And Raya is a pick, obviously, but I don't like spending so much. Probably go Timber and Calafiori. That'd be fun. Sorry, I'll probably go Gabriel plus Timber or Calafiori. That might be fun. In attack. Gyökeres is interesting because the early subs are a problem. Even though Kai is injured, he's on penalties. He's not a 90-minute man. He's a 70-minute man. That changes perception slightly. This is the wildcard draft that I came up with. It's just to peg my current path against a wildcard so that I can make the decision tomorrow night on whether I need to wildcard or not, which has Dubravka, Petrovic as my keepers. I have kept a half an eye on a bench boost 9 as well, which is why I probably get rid of Richards because he plays Liverpool in 9 if I'm not mistaken. Gabriel, Rodon, Senesi, Romero, Semenyo, Palmer, Dewsbury Hall, Reinders, Foden. Foden can be Boomer, Foden can be Xavi Simons, Foden can be another Everton midfielder, so I spend more in defense, get like an Arsenal defender, extra one. Haaland, Pedro, Gyökeres. This is just sort of a semi team that I'm looking at, And what are we saying? The biggest compromise that I have, and I need to see if I can figure out a path to get an Arsenal defender Game Week 7 or 6 even. The biggest compromise that I'm making is I'm holding on. Oh man. No. That will mean too much compromise. If I don't go Palmer next week, if Murillo and Cunha are... This is what I can do actually. That's a good pick. Because let's just see the fixture quickly. Sorry, just had an idea. Everton, right? In Game Week 6, I have West Ham and Crystal Palace at home. Very playable fixtures. So, what I could just do is if I ignore Palmer, but Palmer is more important to me than an Arsenal defender. Just saying, if I ignore Palmer, I can do Salah to Everton midfielder, Dewsbury Hall, Jack, or Endai, because they're playable in 6 and 7. Get Haaland for Watkins, and then I can upgrade Murillo to an Arsenal defender. And we are in business. That's an alternate option as well. But I can just wildcard and play clean, because we've got so many free transfers, Game Week 15 onwards anyway. So do you always want to play catch up or do you want to be ahead of the game so that you're making luxury transfers? And it's tough season, right? So I'm going to let the football dictate how I move. At the moment, I'm 50-50. And I actually want to know what you guys are thinking. Save the wild card and use it in Game Week 8 or jump early because Arsenal have a great entry point in Game Week 6 anyway. A Game Week 6 and a Game Week 8 wild card might not look different. What is the big differential point? Liverpool attackers. Is compromising on Arsenal attack in Game Week 6 worth getting more information on Arsenal defense and attack in Game Week 6, worth getting more information on Liverpool so that you wildcard in Game Week 8 to look to bench boost in Game Week 9. That is the dilemma. That genuinely is the dilemma. And we will see. Let me know what your thoughts are. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit like and subscribe, and I will see you next week.